All right, let's get right into it. There is a serious power struggle brewing inside one of America's most influential unions, the Teamsters. A major challenge is underway for the presidency, and honestly, it could completely reshape the future of the labor movement as we know it. So, to put this in perspective, just how big are we talking? Well, this big. 1.3 million members. That's everyone from the folks delivering your packages to the pilots flying planes. Their reach is absolutely massive, and their power is, well, undeniable.
So, come 2026, this huge organization is facing a critical presidential election. But make no mistake, this isn't just another vote. The people involved are framing this as a genuine crossroads, a moment that is going to set the course for the union for years, maybe even decades to come. Okay, so who are the main players in this showdown? In one corner, you've got the incumbent, the current General President, Sean O'Brien. And stepping into the ring to challenge him is Richard Hooker Jr., who's the head of Local 623 out of Philadelphia. So the stage is definitely set.
Now let's really get into the core of this thing. We're going to dig into what's actually sparking this challenge and take a close look at the case the Fearless Slate, which is what they call themselves, is making against the current leadership.
So you gotta ask, right? What is really driving this? Well, according to the Challengers campaign, this wasn't some snap decision. They say it's been fueled by this growing feeling among the rank-and-file members that the union has just lost its way. And their campaign materials, they lay out some really specific complaints. They're pointing to what they call a political betrayal, arguing that the leadership has gotten way too cozy with figures they see as being anti-labor. They also talk about a toxic culture of fear inside the union, where dissent gets crushed and blind loyalty is demanded. And a huge example they point to is the decision not to endorse Vice President Harris, who, they note, cast the tie-breaking vote that actually secured Teamster pensions. And man, this quote, it's actually from one of their campaign songs, and it just perfectly captures the frustration they're trying to tap into. The argument is simple. The current administration failed to deliver and is completely out of touch with its own members. From there, the allegations get even more pointed and, frankly, a lot more personal. The Fearless campaign accuses the current leadership of sellout politics, using membership dues on luxuries like high-dollar wine. And they even go so far as to bring up reports linking Sean O'Brien's own father to Boston's infamous Winter Hill Gang. It's a clear strategy to question the very character and integrity of the leadership.
Okay, so we've heard all the problems they're pointing out, but what's their solution? That's what this next part is all about, the Fearless Slate's vision for the future.
And this, right here, this is the absolute heart of their entire message. It really is all about worker empowerment. They're calling for a fundamental shift away from what they call an oppressive, top-down system, to one where the real power is in the hands of the members on the shop floor.
This line is from their anthem, and it really couldn't be clearer. It's punchy, it's rhythmic, and it's basically their entire philosophy in one powerful sentence. A relentless push to build power from the ground up, with the rank and file leading the charge.
So how are they actually planning to do all this? Well, their platform is built on these 6 main pillars. And as you can see, each one is almost a direct answer to the complaints we just talked about, from protecting benefits to creating a more transparent and accountable union.
Let's just zoom in on that first one, union democracy, because this is a really big deal for them. What they want is pretty radical, direct rank-and-file elections for all leadership positions. Their motto kind of says it all. If you pay dues, you get a vote. This would be a massive structural change, giving every single member a direct say in who represents them.
So who are the faces behind this movement? Well, leading the charge is Richard Hooker Jr., a 26-year Teamster. But he is definitely not alone. The slate is packed with experienced leaders from all over the country, from long-serving officers to dedicated UPS Teamsters. They're really showcasing a deep bench of leadership here. Okay, this all sounds pretty ambitious, right? But let's be honest, taking on an incumbent and a union of 1.3 million members, it's a classic David versus Goliath fight. So what's their game plan? How do they actually think they can win?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When you're up against an established administration with enormous resources, how do you even begin to compete?
Well, believe it or not, their entire strategy, their whole path to victory, it all hinges on this one kind of shocking piece of data. Just look at the last election. Out of 1.3 million members, fewer than 200,000 actually voted. That is an incredibly low turnout.
And this is the key. You might look at that and think, wow, nobody cares. But for the Fearless Slate, that's not a problem at all. In fact, that's their opportunity.
They see a vast, silent majority of members who are just disengaged, waiting for a real reason to show up and vote for change.
So, they crunch the numbers, and they say it all comes down to this: 400. That's their magic number. Their path to victory is all about grassroots organizing. They believe if they can get just 400 voters in every single local union across the country to turn out, that's enough to win the whole thing.
This slogan really gets to the heart of that strategy. It's a direct challenge to the rank and file, saying, hey, it's not enough to just pay your dues. True power comes from getting involved and taking action.
So, at the end of the day, when you strip everything else away, their entire campaign is built on this one simple, powerful idea: activating the members one person at a time. Their success or failure depends completely on their ability to connect with and mobilize those everyday members across the country.
And this is the vision they're selling. This line, it's powerful, right? It takes this internal union fight and connects it to a much, much bigger struggle. It positions them as the champions of the working class against corporate power.
So that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? This is a long game, and the Fearless Slate is just getting started. But will their vision of a bottom-up revolution actually be enough to win? You know, the fascinating thing is, the answer probably won't be decided by the people at the top, but by the hundreds of thousands of working members who now have a real choice to make.
We ain't never gonna stop, no. Yeah. Fearless we are, fearless we are, fearless cause they're not. Yeah. Fearless from the bottom up, fearless we won't stop. Fearless, we got your back. Fearless with your contract. Fearless, we hold the line. Fearless all the time. Yeah.